Hello, welcome to Caffeinated Cast-Ons. I'm Therese, also known as Caffeinated Cast-Ons. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about my knitting, making projects, just a video version of Ravelry project pages. So if you are interested in knitting or just want a cozy video to watch while you craft, that's what I'm here for. I am based out of North Texas and I've been knitting 3 years. Yeah, with it being Texas, it is hot right now. The weather's been kind of crazy. If you watched last week, you know that we had tornadoes, but now it's just been dry and hot this past week. I think it rained maybe once, but not as bad as it did last week, so it is hot. Even though it's still hot, I still have my hot coffee, my first cup of coffee for the day, in this beautiful handmade mug. I did not make it. It was a gift. Or no, a souvenir that I got in Colorado. It's so beautiful. And it's one of my all-time favorite mugs, because I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of swoops in. But one of my favorites. So, first cup of coffee of the day. Okay, let's talk finished objects. I do have one finished object this week, and that is a square for my afghan. Oh, that looks nice. So I am making an afghan. I'm taking a class actually at a local yarn store where you learn new stitches, techniques, and it's a knitting based class. And so you're making an afghan, but each class you learn a different type of stitch and you make it into a square, and then you seam it all together and it makes a pretty large afghan. So this is square, there's 12 total, and this is my second to last one that I have going. I just really love the way that looks. And I already blocked it. And I can't show you the afghan yet. It's just about almost done. I've started seaming it together and everything's laid where I want it to be. So I'm not even gonna try picking that up. And I am actually running against the clock with this because I have my last class this coming weekend and this needs to get done because in this last one we're supposed to add the border to all this. So I really need to get everything seamed together. And let me back up because I didn't even say what date it was or where you can find me. So, I just hit the microphone. I'm on Instagram at Caffeinated Cast-Ons. I post making there so you can kind of see day-to-day stuff, what I'm working on. That information is down below. Any Ravelry project pages I mentioned will be linked down below. Oh yeah, today's Friday, June 7th. It's been a crazy busy, long week, and I will get into why later. Yep, but first finished object of, is this my first finished object of June? Let's see. I want to say yes. It is, yes. So this is my first June finished object I have in my knitting journal here. Yeah, okay. And so that is finished object. And on the same topic of the afghan, I have all my whips back here. We'll talk about my whips. So sticking with the afghan theme, I have the last square on the needles. It's kind of a tangled mess. But this is, I think it's like some sort of twisty cable that we've got going here. I think it's supposed to look a lot more better once it is blocked. But yeah, so trying to finish that as quickly as possible. I think this one will take me a little bit slower because it does have cables. This square, I finished in 2 days. You know, it's just knits and purls. I mean, that's all knitting, any knitting is knits and purls. But just the extra step of like working with the cable needle, this one will take a little bit longer. I'm not too worried. The way I have it laid out in the afghan, this one will actually go towards the bottom. And so I can seam everything else and start the border on one corner and not worry about this one not being in its place. But I'll get everything else seamed together. That way this can be just ready to pop right in whenever it's done. So luckily the placement worked out perfectly to how I wanted this color coordinated and laid out. Sorry for the needle clicking. My next two whips that I'm talking about are socks, and it is related to a summer sock camp. If you don't know what summer sock camp is, look up the Crazy Sock Lady on YouTube or Instagram. It's just a make along that she hosts every year, and it's super fun. And so I am participating this year and working on some socks. So I'm going to show you two of my sock whips that I've going for summer sock camp. My first sock, just in this, probably like my favorite little project bag for on the go. This is like my go-to project bag. It always has a pair of socks in here. And I'm working on a pair of 2x2 ribbed socks. And this past week, I finished the first one. So last time I showed these, this is where I was in the foot. And so I finished out the foot and did the toe. So that looks great. It looks extra skinny and small just because it is ribbed. So that kind of just sucks everything in. But it's just a 2x2 rib. So very nice. Was glad to finish that. And I did cast on the second sock. I've done a little more than 10 rounds so far, because I am marking every 10 rounds with a light bulb stitch marker. And so that is going. I still have plenty of yarn left over. Look how pretty that purple is. This is Suburban Stitcher Cosmopolitan, and this is just a fingering weight. I forget the exact make. Oh, I have the tag. There we go. Suburban Stitcher on the sock base. So 75 superwash merino and 25% nylon. Yep, Cosmopolitan. I don't think they actually carry this color anymore because I got it kind of like on the last chance cart at my local yarn store. So making great progress with this. This sock was cast on before summer sock camp started. Whips are allowed, so I brought this in with me. And I like it because even though it's just a rib, like going off of vanilla sock, it's still pretty mindless. Like it's not a pattern sock that I really have to worry about. So I really like this for like just knitting kind of where I can in my pockets of time. Sock number 2 of summer sock camp, I have in a camping themed project bag that my friend Katrina made me. This is a DK weight vanilla sock. And here is my yarn. This is an oopsie dye from Sorella. And I just have it in a little yarn cozy that I made. This is a pattern by Nitty Natty, and it's great. I think this is I think it's called like the 100 gram cozy or something like that, but it held my DK skein just fine. And I really like it. It's nice so I can just stick this on a tabletop and have a center pull and the ball isn't going to go anywhere. And with this DK sock, I did finish one sock last week as well. So pretty proud of myself for finishing both sock ones of the socks that I'm working on. So last time I showed these, I have my little corgi stitch marker. I was right here, just finished the gusset decreases, and I worked up the rest of the foot and the toe. And I tried it on. It fits so beautifully, and it's just extra cushiony since it's a DK weight. I did use a DK weight yarn, but you can also hold fingering weight double, which I think I want to make another pair of DK socks because these will be so cute and cozy for whenever it does get colder, but that's not going to happen here in Texas until like maybe November. but it's so nice. I really like the feel, the structure, and so I think it'd be really fun to hold fingering weight double and make a pair of socks, maybe even like a marled effect, like holding two different colors together. I think that would be really pretty. So definitely, it is my first, but it's not my last pair of DK socks. So really happy with that. And I did cast on the second sock with this one as well. And these just work up so quickly since it is a DK weight. I've already done 30 rounds so far, and so now it's time for me to start the heel flap and gusset, because that's how far I did here. Kind of see. But yeah, so it's time to start the heel on this one actually, and that's why I stopped there. I haven't picked it up again since I got to this spot earlier this past week. So that needs to start the heel, and that's going to work up fairly quickly. The pattern, I guess both patterns I am following, excuse me, I'd like a hiccup. Both sock patterns, I am following the Crazy Sock Lady, her patterns. She has a vanilla sock pattern, and then I'm just following the counts with that and going with a 2x2 rib. And then she has a DK vanilla pattern as well. And I'm pretty sure that one is free, so definitely grab that one. That's really all I've had time to work on this week. The afghan has really been taking up majority of my time this week. Plus, I didn't knit as much as I wanted to. This week I was fighting a head cold. My son's going through a sleep regression, so it has been a hot mess in this house this past week. Yeah, but literally all my time it has been going to this afghan because like I want to have it as close to done as possible by this weekend, to have it ready for the class. So I'm so close to getting it done. It's been a love-hate relationship with this afghan. I keep looking at it. It's just like on my floor mocking me. Like I need to begin, like after I finish this, like, I'm definitely going to get back on seaming this. So I'm not so much worried as finishing that square on time. I'd rather get this thing seamed and just ready to go because it's going to be huge whenever it is seamed. Like I need to figure out what bag I'm going to pack it in for class. Talk about some goals that I have for this upcoming week. I do want to finish the other DK vanilla sock just because I know that's going to work up so quickly. I really do want to challenge myself to see how many socks I can knit this summer sock camp. And also for the first time, I am going to enter finished objects into the Ravelry finished object thread for the chance to win a prize. So I really do want to challenge myself there. So I want to finish that second DK sock. I want to start the border of my afghan, and that's a goal that's kind of a given. Like no matter where I am in this seaming process by my class this weekend, I'm going to start the border anyways because that's the whole point of the class. And so I know it's going to be done, but I guess I kind of should have rewritten that goal as to have this whole thing seamed. Either way, it's just making progress on the afghan. My next goal is I want to cast on a new sock, and I think that's very doable. If I finish that DK sock, I want to go ahead and cast on a new sock for summer sock camp. Again, I always want to have 2 socks going at a time, no more than that, because I will get overwhelmed. Hold on. And I am not entirely sure which sock I want to cast on yet, but I do have the urge to work on my 9-inch circulars rather than magic loops, since I do have 2 magic loops going at once right now. I think I do want to switch over to at least one of those projects being a 9-inch circular. And if I do that, it'll probably just be a vanilla sock. I'd rather do a patterned sock on magic loop. Well, I think if I did start a pattern sock, which will most likely be a Rhinebeck Roomy. I think I could try that on 9-inch circular. I don't think it's going to be hard. My brain just processes it better when it's more flat with the magic loop, as in like side 1, side 2. So we'll see. I don't know, but I really want to work on a 9-inch circular just to kind of break up the magic loop that we have going on. And then my last goal that I want to have for next week is to pick back up my test knit. I was testing the Kalivata shawl by Casey Knits. It is beautiful. Let me show you. So I did show this last week, and I'm to the halfway point, and I just haven't picked it up this week because, one, I was sick. We were sleeping, running off no sleep. We weren't sleeping because someone's going through a sleep regression. And I was working on that Afghan. But it's just so beautiful. I really want to pick this back up and finish it. So that is a goal for next week. And I think once I get majority, again, the Afghan, that's the big hurdle to jump over this coming week. Once I get through that, I think things are going to feel so much lighter. I really need a haircut. My hair is so long and I'm tired of it. Let's talk about Fiber Fest. So DFW Fiber Fest is in September, and it's like just a yarn fiber convention if you've never been to a Fiber Fest. All different dyers and vendors come. They're in one place. You can shop, you can take classes. It's really fun. I've gone the past 2 years, and so this will be my 3rd year going. And I'm already excited. I'm already planning for it. It seems so far off, but it's really around the corner because it's June, July, August, September. So 3 months away, and I am just so pumped. So doing things a little bit differently. The past 2 years that I've gone, I have stayed overnight and I have taken classes. It's just more convenient whenever you have morning classes because I don't live too far away. I mean, it's still kind of in the same area, but it's a commute to get there. And it's just easier, especially whenever you have a class at 9 a.m. to not wake up even earlier to drive there. And so I would just stay overnight with friends, and it was super fun. We would just make a weekend out of it. This year I am not staying and I am not taking a class. The past 2 years I've taken classes. They've been good. I've learned stuff, but that's not where I want to spend my time and money for Fiber Fest. The classes are great. There's so many good ones, but I am such in a place with my knitting time and money. I would much rather be mingling with people and getting more yarn. And just, I had to make a budget decision of if I wanted to take a class or not. And I wanted to just save that money from taking a class and booking a hotel room into just more money that I can put on buying yarn. And then also meals, because that adds up too. I just want to be smarter with my money at Fiber Fest this year. So again, nothing wrong with taking a class. I highly recommend taking a class. There's so much fun, and like you meet fun people in your class too. Just this year, the classes aren't for me and my budget and time limits that I have. Yeah. And then I did volunteer a day, so I am excited. I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. I don't find out until I get there for the day I signed up to volunteer for. But I am excited to give back to. And that's another reason I didn't take a class, is because I knew I wanted to volunteer this year. And if I did a volunteer shift plus taking a class, like I'm only going 2 days. And so that eats up like essentially a whole day. And so I just knew I'd rather volunteer instead. I am already planning what projects that I want to shop for. I don't have exactly the color scheme for sure, but I have had my eye on making a lace and fade boxy by, I want to say it's Joji Locatelli. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that name. I always see it and I've heard other people say it, and I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. But I really want to make that. I saw a sample that Treehouse Knits had, and they're not going to be vending this year. I'm so sad. But last year, I want to say it was either last year or the year before, Treehouse Knits had a sample knit up of the Lace and Fade Boxy, and it was gorgeous. It had like a dark foresty green, there was some browns in there, and I kind of want to recreate that because I really like the green and I think it would look very nice on me. And so I'm playing around with colors in my mind and kind of building out that color palette and shopping for that. I want to have a specific project in mind to shop for. So that will be like kind of my larger purchase with that yarn. And then I'll probably just end up buying some minis to add into my scrappy DK jelly blanket or to make scrappy socks. So that's kind of the thought process there. Not locked in stone. I could completely change my mind, but that's kind of where I'm planning right now. And I'll talk more in depth about these projects as Fiber Fest gets closer, once I actually shop, all that good stuff. Yeah, so excited about that. That's all I have for this week. It feels like I didn't work on a lot, but it also at the same time like I did work on a lot. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap her up because I've got some more seaming to do on that afghan. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's close her on out with 3 simple joys for this past week. Simple joy number 1 has been a full night of sleep. Like I mentioned, I had a head cold this past week. My son was going through a sleep regression, so he was boycotting sleep. And it was only like maybe a night or 2 ago that we actually all got a full night of sleep. And oh my goodness, like I've never been more thankful for solid sleep because it was just stressing the whole household out. So very thankful for that. That was definitely a joy, to say the least. Simple joy number 2 is a new vacuum. We got a new vacuum. The one that we had before, it just, for lack of a better phrase, bit the dust. It was not picking up the dust. We had that one probably for like 7, almost 8 years because we got that vacuum whenever we first got married. And so we finally replaced it with a new vacuum, and it is like, our lives are changed. It's the best thing that we've ever seen, and we love it. So I haven't used it yet, actually. My husband's been the one who's been vacuuming, but he got it in. Well, it got delivered yesterday. He assembled it and immediately started vacuuming, so it's great. So that's been super fun, and it just is a nice refresh, especially because we have a dog, we have a little one, and so just all the pet hair and dust, yeah, it's just helping our whole household. And then simple joy number 3, hold on, let me get them, are these peach rings. They are Snack Club brand, and it is Tajin peach rings. I don't know where all, I think you can order them on Amazon, but these big bags, they're like the size of my head. You can get them at Costco. And my mom got me 2 bags, and they are so good. Like, I am addicted to these. I'm not going to eat one on camera, but I will show you what they look like. There you go. You can kind of see the seasoning on them. They are so good. I said I was going to eat one on camera. I couldn't resist. June 8th is Worldwide Knit in Public Day, and so I think I'm meeting some friends tomorrow for lunch, and so we can knit in public, and so that'll be fun. So I hope you get outside and knit in public. Yeah, so anyways, full weekend, knitting class, Worldwide Knit in Public Day. I'm hosting a shower for my best friend. Yeah, so it's going to be really full and busy, so I don't think I'm going to get to knit much, but hopefully after that I can get the move on. So that is all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back if you continue to come back each week. If you are new, be sure to subscribe and join me each week for an update on my making. So until next time, stay caffeinated.